My names are Charles Okoli Chibeze Egungbe. I'm from the old Obinago community and now Umunovago Obinago Autonomous Community, with local government area of Enugu State. I'm a lawyer by profession and was called to the bar 1990. Prior to that, I've had to deal with a lot of experiences, ranging from my secondary school, where I was deputy senior prefect. In fact, I would have been senior prefect for the lack of fees, whereby students who failed to pay their school fees were asked to go. And there was this issue, whether a senior prefect could be asked to go for non-payment of school fees. Then who will control the students? So eventually, I was made a deputy senior prefect, and there was a small riot. But at the end of the day, I was de facto senior prefect of that school, because the principal was by my side. At the end of the day, I went to the University of Nigeria. First year, member of parliament. Second year, hall chairman. Third year, student son president. In fact, the first student son president from this extraction in the old Anambra State, post-war. And from then, I went to ABU Zaria and organized the first NANS election for Nigerian students. I was elected chairman of the Electoral Commission. And in ABU Zaria, 10 days, I headed a committee, brought out regulations for the conduct of the first elections of today's what you call NANS. And it was very, very successful. So down the line, after my first degree at Nsukka, I enlisted for the law degree, which is my second degree. So I called to about 1990. And as we speak, I have a PhD in land law and teach as an adjunct lecturer since 2017 at the Enugu State University for the Faculty of Law. I've been founding chairman of PDP in Enugu State, collected documentation for the registration of PDP. Prior to that, I founded the DPN. On the death of Abacha, my master called me, Jimobodo, and said, don't dissolve this structure. And that structure metamorphosed to what today is PDP. So all those who passed that line, whether a councillor, local government chairman, member of House Assembly, member of House of Reps, Senate, and governor, at the self PDP 98-99, I signed nomination papers, full of them, and led them to battle, whereby we won the elections. I served as commissioner for commerce, industry, and technology. I served as special advisor to the governor. I served as commissioner for water resources. I served commissioner for chieftaincy matters. That's my last assignment some months ago. Outside that, I've headed several committees. I headed the election committee for Ondo State to organize primary elections, and it was very peaceful. I headed many Congress committees in Enugu State. I was chairman of the committee of the party in Enugu State. I was Director General, Presidential Campaign Organization in Enugu State. I was DG, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi Campaign Organization, Enugu State, 2015. I was DG again, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, 2019. And several other positions in the state. So the learning continues. And I believe I acquitted myself creditably. And all these occasions, I never lobbied for one. Because when people say politics negatives personalities, but some other people, the character is the individual, not your cash. And somebody must make a difference from the crowd. That's what my father taught me. So here we are today, in this community. We are celebrating a New Yam Festival, which we call Aju. As I grew up to see my father do the ceremonies. Usually have some yams, that chickens or so, are slaughtered, those that are native ones. And then there are small ceremonies where he cuts those pieces of meat and gives you by your hand. You don't pick. Not today somebody will just pick and their father picks, you pick. You open your hand, he gives you. And then there are some little ceremonies. In many other areas of Igbo land, some call it irresistible, Ifejoko, and the rest of it. So this is the city for the community today. And as the ritual goes, we are looking forward to going to Igwe's palace, and then we will escort him, because under our constitution, these are customary rights, and they are within the province of the national law of the community. Today we have two communities, and usually there could be challenges, but at the end of the day, for those of us in the southeastern part of Nigeria, we are still craving for one particular state that has not been given to us, because these are for more opportunities, these are for more privileges for our people to, and then development today, as somebody who serves in government, is community-based. That's the source of it. Government takes the indices on number of communities and is the basis for spreading development. And these enter into the concern of the state or the program schedule of the respective ministries, whereby if there are allocations coming, either scholarship, either development projects, finances, and so on, these are done on the basis of state. So the more, the merrier, and the opportunities are given to your people. It's not a selfish interest. It's not anybody going and then at the end of the day, because you fought or facilitated that maybe you have a franchise as a business where you have to collect some money. So I believe that like along the line, our people will see these advantages. However, over there, they have 3,000 community today, and Umabi, in terms of size, maybe a few individuals, and we are still talking about one. But we believe that it's normal because of respective individual idiosyncrasies where people behave differently, and then perception. Some could also be ego. But those of us who are practical individuals, we go for the best. Maybe by the time we are no longer here, people can now begin to understand what happened. Yes, we have our forefathers there. Where is Enko, Azikene, of blessed memory, as first Secretary General of the Town Union here. I was privileged to look at their records by Mr. O to see the antecedents of the past, how they brought peace in this community, how they suffered. If they would have loved at the point in time, he probably and NYKAL would have shared all the positions. But they kind of balanced the equation, notwithstanding that Umnuwagu area of the community is the largest, with 17 wards. Enugu is 10, Apollo 6. So assuming you join Apollo and Enugu, there are 16. But for purposes of balance and brotherhood, there is zonation of these positions like councillorship. And some of us who succeeded will continue at least to ensure that such endeavors, such privileges continue, irrespective of our size, our funds, as the case may be. That's why we still share things. And we wonder why people at the same time we want to alter that equation, which our forefathers have brought to us and brought about a lot of stability within the community. So, all the same, it's a very peaceful environment. And if an environment would have some schisms around the corner, even in churches and so on, even in a family, you have one or two who will be trying to, at least, to make you reason more better and do things right.
Thank you, sir. So, to the benefit of our children.
Yes. A few years back, a friend of mine was asked to comment on the achievements of Wewole. And when I saw him on television, I was like, this young man of my age, they would have gone to gym over there. Do you understand? So for me, what I can say is what I learned from our studios. That festival, the kernel of it is, because you know in those days, for the Igbo man, yam has so much relevance. That's what they call DG. You have people having barns at the back of their houses. And the more your barn is big, that's the more affluence. And that's the more you can take even more wives when you have more children to help you cultivate. Today, the white-collar job has come to begin to run down this aspect of culture. So, yam is important. And it is used by our people in those days to pray to our gods. That's why during that yam festival, you see people in those days, they no longer the Christianity has all those things. You come to some families, you see some of those pieces of yams where they are now sacrificing to their gods, whatever. But it's not in bad faith, it wasn't. Then that first day, the second day, very important. I will tell somebody those days. All the daughters married outside on the Aju Sunday, the following day, usually come with their husbands and children to enjoy, to pay homage to the family, to join them. These kids will be received. The in-law will be received. They will now know themselves. You see a lot of people coming in. Whenever you are married to, I used to say in those days, there was no Okada. These buses were fresh. It used to be this one, the vehicle of the buses with lorries, and people made of wood, and people would disembark. And you see women carrying children at the back, and those small ones be walking from that station up, each person moving towards his own father's compound. And you see a array of chain of people from different directions. Those who are married very close, from my big community, Ebudu, and so on. All the track roads, you see movement of people. And it was so enjoyable. And there's a kind of affinity between these are married sisters outside and their brothers who now receive them. And then this is our palm wine period. This is the palm wine that all of us, we are trained from. I'm a product of palm wine from secondary school. So surplus. And if you come, like this community, we are #1 in the local government. And by extension, if you talk about palm wine, talk about Woody. And if you talk about Woody and Obinagu is one, we are first. If you look around, you are not likely to see coconut tree. I heard that our elders felt that coconut resembling palm trees will contest for whatever in the soil. And they now say, look, we don't want that competition. Coconut, please stand out. That's the significance. The much I know.
Thank you so much. For those who think it is still fetish, where are we today?
Well, it's been anglicized because of the church. I used to know those days out of EK Square, over there. There used to be a shrine there. It is still there. And my grandfather, Egungbe, used to be the chief priest of Okome Shrine there. He was the chief priest there. And I think one of my cousins also is trying to handle it. There are negative sides, there are positive sides. But some of the programs scheduled appear to have been modified. Because initially in the morning, they are likely to come there to do 1 or 2 ceremonies and so on and so forth. But then, it's unlike the normal masquerade stuff, whereby you know what goes with the masquerading. But in this one, you pray about peace, you pray about progress, and then it's merriment, like stuff. So the issue of sacrifices, negativing that, serving idols and so on, are much limited. Yes, you just come and enjoy. Bring your yams, bring your children. Come and create affinity among your relations, because there's an intercross, movement of relations. that now convert within, you know. It's not today that people now move out to do structures. Usually in those days, you have many people coming into one hamlet and enjoying themselves. So this our movement to build structures outside our father's compound is nascent. It's quite new, but developing because of change of times.
Thank you so much, sir.
Pleasure.